Take first question over here on the right side.
Hey, Tyrese, what's up? Last game 7 in the finals, Cavs against Warriors, LeBron James against Stephen Curry. You always said that you are a LeBron James fan. What do you remember from that game? You remember watching it? How was that day for you?
The day I don't necessarily remember, but yeah, I remember where I was. I remember what the game was like, the energy of the game, being with my friends and watching it all together. And there's a mixture of Cavs fans, a mixture of Warriors fans, but I think that's probably one of the greatest games I've ever been able to watch as a basketball fan, and that's what makes Game 7 so fun. And I think that, especially for people around my age, that is the peak Game 7. So yeah, I'm excited to add to the storied history of Game 7s and add to just the history of our game.
Over here on the left.
Tyrese, now that they've obviously been really good at home all throughout the playoffs. You guys have now played a couple games in this building. Just how would you describe it, sort of trying to win a game here, and sort of how do you overcome the kind of home court advantage they've been having so far?
Yeah, I think like we said over and over, I think the controllables are the most important thing here. Taking care of the ball, rebounding, playing with the right energy. I think something that's a underrated aspect of the game of basketball is momentum. And when you're on your home floor, and you make a tough shot or have an alley-oop dunk or make a highlight play of some sort, it gets the crowd involved. That's momentum that goes your way, and I feel like we have that with our home court advantage as well in Indy. They have that here as well. So you got to be able to weather the storm with those momentum swinging plays, try to create, momentum stopping plays when you're on the road. That's important as well. But I think just controlling what we can is the most important thing.
Dustin.
Tyrese, just how did you come out of Game 7 physically, basically, and what have you had to do over the last 2-3 days since to kind of maintain the conditioning with the calf? Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same standpoint I was before Game 6. I'm still a little stiff, a little sore rather. Good thing I only had to play like 23 minutes, so been able to get even more treatment and do more things. So just trying to take care of it the best I can, but I'll be ready to go for Game 7.
Next row back.
Tyrese, we've been here for the last 7 games asking you a bunch of questions. But during the games, we do the play-by-play for ESPN in Portuguese. And after you hit the game winner in Game 1, I said there's something special about those Pacers. I'm trying to figure out what is so special about those Pacers when you look back to the playoff run, the game winners, the epic game, the clutch times. What is so special about those Pacers?
Yeah, I think as a group, we've just been very resilient throughout the playoffs. We're a group of guys that get along really well and are trying to do something special, and I think the expectations for this group from, an external viewpoint coming into the year weren't very high. They weren't very high coming into the playoffs. They weren't very high going into the second round of the playoffs. They weren't very high going to the third round. They aren't very high now, So I think we just have done a great job of just staying together. And, there's not a group of guys I'd rather go to war with. I'm really excited to compete with these guys in a Game 7, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Next row back on the left.
Tyrese, Chris Hagan, Fox 59, Indianapolis. A lot of naysayers coming into this series about what to expect. From the outside looking in, how would you rate this series? Obviously, one more big chapter to write, but great games, thoroughly entertaining, and ultra competitive.
Yeah, I won't be able to give you a real rating till it's over. But I think that this has been a joy to compete against these guys and play in this environment. I'm having a lot of fun with what I'm doing and what we're doing as a group. So as a basketball player and being a part of it, it's been a lot of fun. And I would assume from a basketball fan's perspective, it's been a joy to watch. So, I think that's the good part about this series.
Alvaro in the middle.
Alvaro Martin of Ritmo. Last year, your defense was 7th worst in the league in terms of efficiency. This year, we went up to 19th. In the last month of the season, you were the 9th best. But then when you see your efficiency in the series, it's better than Oklahoma City's as a defense. And when you look at your games against the top 10 teams in the league in the regular season, the number 1 defense was Indiana's. Oklahoma's was 3rd. How do you explain that for the bigger games, your defense all of a sudden turns up 15 notches?
Yeah, I think we just do a great job of sticking with our system, not trying to move it from game to game. I think Jim and Jenny, who run our defense, have done a great job of just establishing, kind of our blueprint into what we do. And we're competitive guys. We want to compete against the best. And I think the buy-in from our group has been, amazing. Obviously, Drew, Aaron, and Myles kind of set the tone for what we do defensively. Pascal has been on elite defensive teams before. I feel like I've really taken a big step on the defensive end myself personally. And we've got a lot of different guys who want to compete on that end. And I think, last year we could score the ball really well, but we couldn't stop a runny nose, couldn't stop anybody, So I feel like we've done a good job of buying in on that end. And that's called for more success, but there's still a lot to go.
Joe here in the front.
Hey, Ty. Two follow-ups from the question that was about just the crazy run. The comebacks that you've been involved with, how have they become part of your team identity? And then also, when you are a team that maybe outside of Indianapolis, like you have surprised the league again, but you guys never talk about lack of respect or anything like that. You just seem to sort of go about it. So I guess the identity question, and then also maybe why you guys aren't outwardly talking about, we deserve respect.
Yeah, I think from our group, as far as like comebacks and stuff, I think we just have done a really good job of staying at games for 48 minutes, not giving up, understanding that no lead is really safe in the NBA, and just continuing to fight through the course of games. I think that's become part of our identity. As far as like outward calls for respect, like respect isn't something that we can just like talk about and then receive. It's like it's an earned thing. So I still think no matter what happens, it's still probably not going to be where necessarily it should be or what we think it should be. It doesn't really matter though. I think from our standpoint, when we compete and teams we compete against, they respect us, and I think that's the most important thing. As far as what the media has to say about our group, it is what it is. We are in a great point right now in our organization's history, and for our team specifically. You got to be really excited about the chance to compete one game to win a championship. So just looking forward to that, man. I think all the outside narratives and all those things, they come with winning and they come with success. So, we got the ultimate test coming up, and I'm really excited about it.
Last one standing on the right.
Tyrese, hi, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good. For the past of 3 Game 7s in the finals, LeBron won twice, Kobe won once, right? So knowing those names, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, what's the winner of the Game 7? And do you feel like, let's say, if you guys win this time, do you feel like you can just be in that name list? It's just such an honor, or how do you feel about it being the name on that name list?
I just think as a group, I think the important part about winning a championship is, you got your name in history as a group. I think that's the most important thing. But as far as like thinking about anything like that, I don't really think about what's to come after the game, success or not. Just fully focused on Game 7, and I'm trying to take it just a moment at a time, really enjoying what we're doing and understanding like this is, going to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest game most of us ever playing in our lives, and for our organization is from a historical standpoint as well. And that's something that you don't take for granted and you enjoy as a competitor. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you, Tyrese.
I appreciate it.
Game 7. And I want to ask you about a lot of people in social media and platforms are comparing the T.J. McConnell role with the J.J. Barrera role back in the 2011 championship run with the Mets. What do you think about that, and how important is T.J. McConnell for you guys?
Very important, and I do see similarities.
Steve, up in the front on the right side.
Hi, Rick. Steve Eshman, NBA.com. A couple games ago, Mark was asked about, have you run out of adjustments yet? And he said no. I'm wondering now on the brink of a Game 7, have both teams seen pretty much everything the other team has, and it's all on the table now for execution, or do you think there's still things up your sleeve?
Well, there are more adjustments that can be made for sure. So we'll see.
Barry, straight ahead.
Yeah, Barry Trammell, Tulsa World. We talk a lot about the Game 7 pressure on the players. Do you feel any pressure as a coach to coach any different or make better decisions, or how do you approach, and what kind of an advantage is your experience over Daignault in a Game 7?
I love pressure. I mean, you know, as you go on in your competitive life in sport, what you learn is that these moments are rare, and trying to duplicate this kind of situation is something that you look to do in everyday life, and it's not easy to do that. It's not easy to do that. So I'm very much looking forward to Game 7. You know, these are the last time we've had one of these in the finals, I think, was 16. I've seen some things about that, and these are special moments for certainly for both teams, but for our league, for the game, you know, for the worldwide interest in the game, and so you know, it's a time to celebrate.
Fourth row on the left over here.
Rick over here. Before the series, you talked about how you expected a very exciting series, and here we are, 3 games apiece, a differential of just 7 points. Has it gone the way you expected as far as that excitement level, and is it something that you saw that a lot of others perhaps didn't see in this series?
I mean, you never know how it's going to go. I'd be lying if I said this has gone exactly as I expected. You know, because each playoff series, you know, each game is a different thing, and each game takes on a different personality, has different characteristics. Different guys step up, different situations happen, et cetera. So the truth is that nothing else previous to this matters at all now. I mean, we're just down to one game and one opportunity, and so you know, we're really looking forward to it.
Standing on the right side.
Obviously, Coach, besides you, how similar is this group and this playoff run to the one you had with the Mavericks back in 2011? And how much do you use it as a motivation for your group nowadays?
Well, there are some similarities. Certainly the character level of the players on the team there are great similarities there. I mean, both of these groups, the 11 Mavericks and the 25 Pacers, just have great people. I see Oklahoma as having a similar type team. You know, the Mavericks team was more veteran than we are. We have veterans, but we had more guys in their 30s who had been in a lot of playoff runs and stuff like that. There's a difference there, but yeah, I mean, but you know, when it comes down to it, you know, it's 48 minutes. It's 48 minutes, and once again, we're very grateful for our fans. We're very grateful for our organization. Our staff is very grateful for, you know, the guys we have on our team and the collaborative spirit that we've had all year. And now it's one game.
Aurelia, down here on the left.
Hi, Rick, over here. There's a lot of talking at the moment how Obi Toppin developed as a player, especially when it comes to the defense side. When he was with the Knicks, we saw him as a great dunker, but never really playing that great defense. But now he became such an important role, also not just dunking, also having this impact on the defense side. So what can you share about what approach did you have to actually bring so much more out of a player, not just scoring, also being on the defense side?
Well, when we acquired him 2 years ago in the trade with New York, the first thing we talked to him about was the fact that we were thrilled to have him. We saw a lot of special qualities in him as a young player that still had a lot of development to do. We talked to him about defense and rebounding, that those are 2 areas where, you know, he still has significant upside, and that we were gonna commit to helping him develop in those 2 areas. What we've learned about Obi is that he's a great teammate. He's a great worker. He wants to be a part of something that isn't just about him. And so he's worked extremely hard, and he's improved in both of those areas. And so, you know, at certain points of the year, he's been one of our better defensive rebounders, and that had been one of his weaknesses. So look, I'm proud of all of our guys, but him in particular, he's really come a long way.
Back right.
Yeah, Cliff Brunt, Associated Press. Chet Holmgren's been somewhat limited in this series from an offensive and scoring standpoint. What's worked and how critical of a piece has that been in getting you guys to the point that you are?
He's a great young player, and he's had a lot of stretches where we have not dealt with him well. And so, you know, like all their other guys, I mean, they've got a lot of great players on this team. We've got to do everything we can to make it as difficult as possible.
Joe, right here.
I know that this is a tough time for reflection with one more big one to go, but you go so far back in the state of Indiana and Indianapolis. This is your third stint here, obviously. What has this run up to now meant to you, just to be a part of it and the head of it, just given your long history in the state?
Yeah, I haven't been doing a lot of reminiscing about that. You know, when you are part of a playoff run that gets going and you can keep it going, you know, there's a part of you, and I'm speaking myself personally. You want to avoid thinking about warm fuzzy things. You've got to really concentrate on process. You got to keep trying to think of little tiny things that you know you can do as a coach to help enhance your players' abilities to play their best and things like that. But I will say that, you know, the 3 games of this series at Gainbridge Fieldhouse have been the loudest that I've ever heard that place. And you know, my first stint in Indiana in the '90s with Larry, you know, we were in Market Square for 2 years, and that was very loud too. And then we were in, it was Conseco at the time, in the inaugural year, and made an unexpected run to the finals that year, and you know, that was extremely loud too. I remember particularly Game 3, you know, after we had dropped the first 2 games to the Lakers. My second stint as a head coach, you know, we got to the conference finals that first year, and the place was rocking, you know, but I have never heard it as loud as I've heard it this year. So I know that means it's meant an awful lot to our fan base. You know, the story of this franchise is interesting because the franchise was almost lost at one point. There was a telethon to bring it back to life, and they had to raise a certain amount of money and sell a certain number of tickets so the bank would foreclose on the franchise. And so, you know, Nancy and Slick Leonard had a lot to do with that. And then the Simons came in and purchased the team, and then from there it's been 40, 41, maybe it's going on 42 years now. I don't know. So, but it's a long, storied journey, and I know all this right now means a lot to our fans, and so you know, we've just got to focus on one game.
Last quick question in the middle.
Martin Ritmo. A few years ago, you installed an offense that relied heavily on passing, heavy passing, and that, whether it's causal or not, ended up with you not having a single or 2 single sources of scoring. Scoring was spread out as well. To what extent was that a decision made philosophically by you, given the material you had, the players you had, or to what extent did you think it's going to be very hard for the best defense in basketball to cover all these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly sure what time frame you're talking about or what year or whatever, but I just, you know, our roster is built in a way where we need balance. When we traded for Tyrese, it was pretty clear that we needed to play with tempo, and so Kevin Pritchard and Chad Buchanan have built the roster with guys that can run and defend around him. And so But in today's game, roster construction seems to be changing, and a lot of the best rosters now are built on balance, and that's certainly what we're trying to do. I think that's what Oklahoma's doing too.
Statistically, the bigger difference between your wins and your losses in this series has been on their end of the floor. I'm wondering and how efficiently the Thunder have scored. And I'm wondering, do you feel like the level at which you guys have defended has fluctuated from game to game? Do you think that's just random? What do you think that is?
I think it's a long series, and sometimes you're gonna get people with best shots, and sometimes shots are gonna go in, sometimes they're not. I think our process is the same, but it happened in basketball. You happen to lose games, so that's just what it is.
Michael here on the left.
Pascal, Michael Grange, Rogers Sportsnet, Toronto. Couple of questions. One, you had a front row seat for Kawhi Leonard winning a Finals MVP. Just that performance. Do you find yourself drawing on any of those lessons you maybe absorbed unconsciously or not? And two, your comfort level, just talking to your teammates, there's been moments in this series, in this playoffs, where you've really asserted yourself offensively, others where you've stepped back, let other guys do what they need to do, and just maybe those two things, just that experience watching Kawhi and then just your comfort.
Yeah, I think it's Kawhi, obviously an incredible player. I think for me, if it's one thing that I learned from him and even that team is just being even killed. I think Kawhi, no matter what happened, he always was the same. That's something that I try to have in, for me, it's no matter good or bad, make shots, miss shots, it doesn't really matter. Just be yourself at all times, and that's something I learned from that. And I think for our team, it's just it's all about team. That's who we are. And anything that I can do to help my team win, that's what I'm gonna do. And there's no real thinking about myself and what I need to at that moment. It's just about what we can do as a team to win. And sometimes it's defending, sometimes it's getting a rebound, sometimes it's getting a steal, sometimes it's scoring. So whatever I need to do to help my team win, that's what I'm gonna do.
Straight ahead, Barry.
Barry Trammell, Tulsa World. You're playing for a coach that's won over 1,000 games, won a ton of playoff games, won an NBA championship. What has his experience done for you guys, especially in these finals?
Yeah, he's been definitely a calming presence. Again, his communication and like you said, he has the experience. He does a good job of preparing us for games, not only just in terms of game plan, but mentally, and he's definitely one of those coaches that, again, talking to him and he can just give you a good perspective on certain things and maybe make me look at things a little differently than I look at or whatever. But I think he's been so great with us in that, just preparing us for games and also putting us in the mindset ready to just go out there and be ourselves.
Dustin here on the left.
Hey, Pascal. I know you reacted to this on social media already, but what the picture of you from the huddle.
Dustin, you're gonna be the one asking that, bro?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
What was your thoughts of what happened, and what did you
Yeah, well, I didn't see it until they showed me in the locker room. I haven't been on social media, so I don't really know. My teammates showed me. So we were praying, and I try to close my eyes. I have this problem where I can't really close my eyes. Sometimes I'll be thinking that I'm closing my eyes, but they're not really closed. And even just having conversations, sometimes I would look up, and it's it feels like I'm thinking, and my eyes just go up. But yeah, it's definitely just something natural. Usually I try to do this so I could make sure I close my eyes. But that time I didn't, and it got caught on camera. But I'm glad people are enjoying it and having fun with it or whatever. But yeah, it's just literally I was praying and I was trying to close my eyes, and I'm thinking in my head my eyes are closed, but clearly they weren't closed. So yeah, that's just all it is really. I gotta again. My agent told me one time I'm doing the national anthem that he saw that, and I was like, oh man, I gotta make sure I close my eyes, because those are the moments where I usually pray. So it's when I do that, I'm thinking I'm closing my eyes, but I'm not. So, yeah, I gotta do better. I gotta start doing this. Like, I'll put my head down. Like, y'all can look at me no more. And the camera, the NBA with all these cameras too. Like, it's too much, man. Get the cameras away from us, man.
Couple of rows back towards the center.
Pascal, Milan from Weibo, China. It's a long series, and you play against a great team for 7 consecutive games. And you won the championship before, and then you are an all-star. And at this level, it seems like your maturity has come to another level. How would you describe your personal growth like throughout the series and the playoffs?
Like how to describe what? Sorry, just to. Sorry. Maturity. Okay. I mean, I think I just from experience, from being in these situations before, I think just trying to pour from all the experiences in my life and knowing that this is an amazing opportunity and like we are at the biggest stage. Not taking it for granted, and also just like knowing like how hard it is to get here. And I think for me, just the fact that I can appreciate that makes me just go out there, not get too down on myself when things are going wrong, and not getting too excited when things are going well. Just understanding that it's, this is the game. It's basketball, but it's also life. And sometimes you have good games, sometimes you have bad games. And I think just that whole understanding for me, like, just makes me relax and go out there and just do my job, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. We're playing basketball, and obviously all the other things make it like look bigger than what it is, but it's just ball.
Last question, Aurelia on left.
Hi, Pascal. How are you?
Hi.
We love talking about, especially LeBron also loves to talk about, he brought the first championship to the Cavs, and you were someone who brought the first championship to Toronto, and now maybe the second time to the Pacers, and we don't really give them much appreciation. We just heard the question before. Sometimes it's Kawhi, now it's also Haliburton. Of course, you're a team, but how much we should give you more flowers and talk about what you actually do to a team, that you are someone who's maybe now the 2-time guy bringing a championship to teams who never had a championship before.
Well, first, I appreciate that. Thank you. But I think for me, like, again, I really don't look at it that way. I just feel like I'm in a position where I am today, man. Like, from someone, like, from where I'm from, like, to get here, it's pretty crazy. Like, so for me, like, I feel like I've already achieved, like, everything, you know what I mean? Like, just because of, like, I'm here now, and, like, nobody could really see this path for me, and except, God, and like, I'm here now, and to me, it's just, like, about going out there every single day, putting the work in, and just trusting God, and just giving everything that I have on the floor for my team, for myself, for my family, like my dad watching me, like, and just hoping that he's proud of me and everything that I've accomplished, and having, his name, like, everywhere, like that. To me, like, that's what's more important, like, and all the other things, like, when I'm done, like, I look at it and then be like, oh man, like, I did this and it was great. But like, for me right now, it's just like about the journey, and going out there, continue to do my job, and doing everything that I can, and I would say that, like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, a kid, like, from where I'm from, not supposed to be here. So I'm just so blessed, and again, it might be cliche, but like, I just don't really care about all that. I just care about going out there and do my job, and maybe one day, I get the recognition, and it will be great then. But right now, I'm still writing that story, so like, I'm just focused on that.
Thank you, Pascal. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
What's the mentality going into tomorrow as far as the team? Is it different from Game 6 to Game 7?
It's a championship game, bro. Do or die. So mentality, just you shouldn't have to get hyped to play this game, man. I think it's just the situation is what it is.
Biggest game you've ever played in?
Yeah, I would say so. I played in the FIBA World Cup, as far as a world stage, but this is the stage, of all stages. So I mean, I definitely would say so.
The next 24 hours, how tough is it to get to sleep and not think about it, but think about it?
Man, I fall into a routine. Something just gets in my ears that's really helped me. So just keep doing my same routine I'm doing all playoffs, and then yeah, the anticipation is obviously going to be there, but you just roll with it.
You won a game 1 here, so you know what it's like to win here. Do you kind of lean on that to kind of help you out tomorrow night?
We got to lean on everything we've learned throughout the series and just playoffs as a whole. I think we take everything by game basis, but it's been a long, grueling 2 months of the playoffs, so we just lean on our experience.
Myles, you won a game 7 on the road last year against a different team, different year. Can you draw anything from that experience that might help tomorrow?
You have to. Just the environment, the stakes, everything that comes with it. So, we draw on the experience that we learned and just roll the punches.
Myles, what do you make of Pascal's kind of two-way performance? Just being able to deliver on both ends and this whole series.
Yeah, he's a champion. He's been here before. He can draw from his own experiences, lead by example, and I think he's done an amazing job of being that vocal leader and just being someone that we can lean into and when the moments are get a little tight sometimes.
Myles, I know we've asked you this a little bit, but just this journey for you, 10 years. I know we've had you reflect on this a little bit, but now to be in a game 7, can you take a step back and just look at this journey for us?
I don't have enough time. I'll keep it a stack with you, bro. It's been 10 years of experience, but it's all for a moment like such. So I just everything I've been through, everything it's all worth it. And so be able to play at 7 o'clock tomorrow.
Myles, I'm curious. You guys are one of the more interesting screen setting teams in the league. When you set a screen, is your first goal to just impede the path and make contact on the screen? I know it depends on the type of screen. Is your first goal depending to do you want to make contact with the defender, or are you just trying to make sure he can't run the coverage he's supposed to?
I don't know. I can't give you all my secrets, bro. I feel like the whole world just watching a little bit want to dissect what we do.
That's fine.
To answer your question as a whole, of course, your ultimate goal is to, create some kind of contact. At some point, we're just trying to free up space. I think that's, the goal to any of the screens.
Myles, talk to me about your Kobe's. That colorway is amazing. It's a personal edition only for you.
Oh no, these are actually PJ Tuckers. Another former Longhorn itself. So I've worn the Kobe's for the past Kobe 6 for the past 5 years or so. They're just the most comfortable shoe for me, and this pattern just happened to I don't know, just nice and vibrant.
Myles, how much have you leaned on Rick, just knowing that he has won an NBA title?
You have to. Actually, I watched a documentary. It's on YouTube of their championship run in 2011. Obviously, I grew up watching that, but you just don't know what really goes into, building a championship team, what goes into the mentality and just how grueling the process is. So, it's you have to lean on his experience, and yeah, man, it's the most fun time of the year.
You guys played 16 in the series, obviously, but do you expect any kind of early game jitters for both teams coming out tomorrow, knowing the weight of the game?
It just depends. I think that guys, you dream of these moments and whatnot, but guys like ourselves, we've been in game 7s before, so or a game 7 before, so the stakes weren't quite as high, but you have to just lean on that do or die mentality. And honestly, the past 3 games for us have been game 7s, so I think that and now it's just all for the marbles.
Hi. Are you sometimes even surprising yourself with the performance you're giving here in this finals?
Honestly, not trying to think about it too much. You guys have probably heard me say this 1,000 times. I'm just trying to go out there and do my job, and that's really it. I'm not going out there and listening to the external noise. I'm just doing whatever it takes to help our team win.
But how does it feel to be this important for the team at this stage, at this moment?
I just got to give credit to my teammates and his coaching staff. Rick and his staff have empowered me to just play my game, and when you got teammates like I do, it's easy to go out there and just play basketball.
That might be the easy part, but the hard part is maybe to get 2 feet on the ground and the stadium goes wild, and then all the conversations start, even the MVP final conversation starts about you. How is it to keep your feet on the ground like that?
Just blocking out the noise. I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. Like I said, just try to go out there and inject energy into the game and get our guys going and do my job.
CJ, how much have you enjoyed the kind of chess match, especially defensively, and as a mind of a coach? How much enjoyment do you get out of those tweaks?
Yeah, I think that's the best part about playoff basketball, and especially playing in the finals, just the adjustments and the changes that teams make. When you've got 2 amazing head coaches going against each other like Mark and Rick, they're obviously going to make adjustments, and they're great at doing it. So it's it's as a fan of basketball, it's cool to see.
Do you have a favorite Game 7 memory that taught you about this moment?
Not really. Kind of just trying to stay in the moment and not look too far ahead, not look behind, and just trying to prepare for tomorrow.
TJ, just how much of a dream is it, though, to be in a Game 7 on this stage?
I mean, it's something I think all of us dream about as kids, obviously, and I think for me, just not getting ahead of myself, and for our team not getting ahead of ourselves, just like I said, staying in the moment and preparing for the moment tomorrow.
Can you take anything from that Game 7 win at New York 1 year ago? Can that experience help you at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think experiences can obviously help, but we're a different team. We're playing against a different team, so we kind of just can't really pay attention to that type of stuff, and like I said, just prepare for tomorrow.
Is there a difference in creating turnovers at home versus on the road? What's the challenge in doing so on the road versus at home?
I mean, I just think the atmospheres are different, obviously. Crowds give you a little bit more energy, a little bit more burst. We're going to be practically alone tomorrow. This crowd here in Oklahoma City is amazing. It's going to be really loud, so we're going to have to be ready.
TJ, we caught you walking out with Thomas Bryant. You guys were praying, I think, looking at how important has faith been for you throughout this whole time?
It's something that I've leaned on very heavily. Something that means a lot to me and my family, and wouldn't be here without my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So it's something that I lean on a daily basis.
Have you seen Rick, Jenny, all the coaches take their game to another level throughout this, and what ways, if so?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a great staff in general, who do a great job of fixing things that we need to fix, but also empowering us to do what we do well. And it's been amazing to see just how, the growth of not only our players but our staff. I can't say enough good things about them.
DJ, you are a living proof that the fundamentals of the game are very important. What advice can you give it to all the kids that are trying to do fancy things in the basketball court?
I mean, I think for me, it's just blocking out all the negativity, not only in basketball but in life. People are going to say you're not good enough to do something, and you kind of just got to block that out, put your head down and go to work on a daily basis and outwork everybody.
You talked about staying in the moment like this, but it's NBA Finals Game 7, it's as big as it gets. How intentional do you catch yourself having to be about that if your mind wanders thinking about what could be or could not be?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if someone says that their mind doesn't wander, I think they're lying, obviously. It's about reeling yourself back in and getting yourself back to the preparation and all the stuff we're trying to do to try to go out and win. Obviously, your mind's going to wander, you're human, but just bringing yourself back in and saying, the moment, stay in the moment right now and worry about the future when it's there.
What did that moment with your dad after Game 6 mean to you?
I wouldn't be here without my dad, so it was a special moment. Cool to see him, kind of be out there and be a proud dad. He wasn't truthful in what he was saying, but that's my dad, so I love him, and I'm just happy that he gets to experience this.
TJ, your team, doesn't really have that quintessential 1A guy. Pascal's leading you guys in scoring, but he's had some huge games. But just maybe his ability to kind of assert himself when you guys need it, like you did in the first half, and other games, he'll get off the ball and let other people do their job.
I think that's the best thing about Pascal is what you just said. When we need him to be assertive and go get us a bucket, he has the capabilities to do so, and he does it at a high level. But if he sees someone else is playing really well, he willingly takes a back seat and lets them go, and that's the type of person and teammate Pascal is. And it's something that doesn't get talked about enough. He's an amazing teammate, amazing player, and when you talk about a team player, that's who he is.
Because sometimes, maybe he doesn't,
people are looking for 28 points a game guys. That's got to be the guy, but it doesn't obviously have to be.
Yeah, I feel like he also understands on this team it could be anyone's night on any night, and when you got a selfless guy like that who also is leading you in scoring, it's you can't put a price on that.
You talked a little about the experience of playing in Game 7, how it is different, but what are some things that you have to experience about playing in one that you wouldn't know if you don't do it at least once? What are kind of the universal things, I guess, about?
I mean, it's just, I think how important each possession is. I mean, you obviously know in playoff basketball in the finals, every possession matters, but we got to leave everything we have on the floor, give everything we have, and let the chips fall.
We'll take one more.
TJ, I know you're not looking ahead, but what would it mean just to win this thing and hoist that trophy, considering what you guys have all gone through as a group?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but we're really not trying to look ahead to that. Obviously, a great feeling, but just trying to stay in the moment and get prepared for tomorrow.
Just going out there and playing as hard as I can.
You guys have won here before. It's not like you haven't. What can you take from that game, if anything? And I mean, you know, Aaron's talking about it's going to take 48 minutes. Just being who you guys are. Is that kind
Sure.
of? Yeah.
I feel like no matter what happens after the game, everybody gets to go home. It's whether you're going to be sad or you're going to be happy. And I'm trying to go home happy, which means that you know we got to give it our all. We got 48 minutes to play Pacers basketball, and we won't be champions.
Ça fait 9 ans qu'il n'y a pas eu de match numéro 7 en finale de la NBA. Est-ce que tu es capable de sortir du jour en toi, puis juste en tant qu'amateur de basketball, d'apprécier à quel point c'est excitant pour tous les amateurs de basket de la planète, le match qui arrive demain soir?
Bien sûr, bien sûr. C'est un gros match, ça va être un gros match demain. Je trouve qu'il va se passer beaucoup, il va y avoir beaucoup d'émotions, mais il faut rester concentré. Puis ça fait partie de l'histoire aussi.
Ben, just what does it mean to be in this situation, knowing that what you guys have gone through, just to have this opportunity in a situation like this?
It means everything. You know, as much as I want to enjoy the experience, you know, I have one more game to stay focused, and then I can brag about everything else I want. But you know, it's really 48 minutes. We got one more day. Get to go home, get back to the hotel, get my rest, and be ready for the game tomorrow.
With the mental and physical demands of this series, how has your approach to the game changed?
You know, you get to live and experience a lot of things. You know, as long as you stay in the playoffs, you get to live those moments, and you don't take nothing for granted. So you get to learn, and that's the most important thing for me is just growth. You know, growth and learning.
And when you're like at that brink of exhaustion mentally and physically, what is keeping you going?
Just knowing that people will kill to be in this situation.
The bench has been such a lift for this team, not just this series, but the whole postseason. How much pride do you take in that?
You know, it's been great, man. I think everybody get to go out there and perform. You know, it can be anybody's night, and I think we have to take this to our advantage.
Je te relancerai là-dessus en français, là, avec 8 gars qui ont marqué au moins 200 points depuis le début des séries. Évidemment, tu as une grosse partie de ça. À quel point c'est une fierté d'être peut-être l'équipe avec le plus de profondeur de l'histoire de la NBA.
C'est bien. Ça représente qui on est en tant qu'équipe. Et you know, c'est quelque chose qu'on a accompli en équipe. Et il faut continuer à accomplir plus de records.
Le match de demain, c'est un inconnu même pour Siakam, pour tout le monde en fait, un match numéro 7 en finale de la NBA. Est-ce que votre approche a changé? Qu'est-ce que vous avez appris des 6 premiers matchs qui vont pouvoir vous être utiles là, pour demain soir?
Je trouve que c'est une très bonne question, mais ce qui s'est passé dans les 6 premiers matchs n'a rien à voir avec le dernier match. You know, parce que là, c'est 0-0, c'est un match. C'est 48 minutes qu'il faut avoir, qu'il faut rester concentré et jouer le plus fort possible.
In what ways has Rick and the coaching staff stood up in the way they've elevated their game in these most important times, just like you guys?
You know, I think we have the right coaching staff for it. You know, we have a lot of people that we can go to and ask questions if we're unsure of certain things, and I think that everybody's willing to help and everybody's committed to the same goal.
Ben, I think you guys are the first team in the playoffs in NBA history to have 8 guys who have scored 200 points start a postseason. How much is that a microcosm of the mentality that you guys have had where everyone can step up?
You know, you just asked me this question in French. I mean, it's great. Like I said, you know, we have to use it to our advantage. You know, we have a lot of guys. It can really be anybody's night. You know, just to go out there and perform. And you know, we have to keep the main thing, which is winning. And I think that the rest will take care of itself.
What's the next 24 hours look like for you, personally, mentally, physically, nutrition, sleep?
You say it yourself, man. Sleep, eat, wake up and be ready to play. No, nothing too crazy.
Ben, what would it mean to hoist that trophy here tomorrow night?
It'd be great, man. I'll be glad to answer all your questions tomorrow after I hold it, but for now, I'm just trying to live in the moment.
Ben, have you been in touch with Lou or Andrew at all during this series?
You say Andrew?
Andrew or Lou, either of the...
I think he means Nembhard.
Andrew Nembhard or...
Oh, yeah, my teammate.
Sorry, my bad. Sorry, Shay.
Oh.
My bad.
No.
It's hard to keep track of.
Nah, no worries, man. No, not at all, man. It's just about us. It's about the team.
Are you looking forward to maybe reconnecting one way or the other afterwards?
For sure. I mean, 100%. You know, as much as this is a competitive era, this is a competitive moment. You know, Lou's still my brother. You know, he's not my brother till, you know, playing still 48 minutes. But as soon as we're done, no matter the results, you know, I'll be glad to give him a big hug and know that, you know, we achieved history and this is a great moment for our community.
How big is this for Quebec?
This is very huge, man. This is, you know, has never happened before to have, you know, two Montreal guys, two Haitian kids, you know, and be in the NBA Finals. So no matter what happens, you know, it's going to be one of us to win the championship.
Est-ce que tu peux parler de ton support familial, tes amis, depuis le début des séries, pas juste de la finale, à quel point ça a été spécial de partager ça avec eux et d'avoir leur soutien pour pouvoir garder la motivation de remporter le championnat?
C'est bien d'avoir du monde qui, you know, le monde qui sont là, ma famille, mes amis. You know, c'est quelque chose de bien qu'on va gagner et de pouvoir partager ces moments avec eux.
Ben, I know you guys all want to win it for each other, but for Myles in particular, with his journey, now to have a chance in a Game 7, how special would that be to win it for him?
It would be amazing, man. You know, he's been in the league for 10 years. He's never been this far in this in his career. So I told him that you just forget about everything that happened before. This is the game of your life, you know, and not trying to put pressure on him, but trying to make him understand that, you know, we get to achieve his goal.
Game 7, it's here. What are your feelings, mindset after Game 6 and just going into this?
Excited, ready for Game 7, ready to go out there and leave it all out there for 48 minutes.
What did you learn about this team after last game? I mean, you know about this team and what it's all about, but that was pretty resilient.
You know, we're a resilient group, and we just understand that we got to go play our game and do us, and you know, everything will work out.
What's it going to take? You felt how it feels to win in this building. It's not like you haven't, but what's it going to take? I mean, it's all
Full
cards
48 minutes, man. Full 48 minutes of hard play, effort, doing the little things, and just understand it's just going to be us in the building.
It's been 9 years since the last Game 7 in the NBA Finals. As a lover of basketball, like, what does it represent for you to play in such a big stage?
It's amazing. You know, yesterday I went back and watched some of the Cavs Warriors Game 7, just to feel the moment and understand how special of an opportunity that we have tomorrow.
Do you have a favorite Game 7 memory, something that can prepare you for tomorrow?
I just watched the Game 7 Cavs Warriors, so, you know, obviously the Kyrie shot is huge.
At what moment do you remember when you realized that Andrew was tough as nails and one of the guys? Was it like an early moment?
Yeah, first year. I mean, first year we played together, you know, Andrew just brings the same demeanor every day in and out, so, you know, he's just doing what he's been doing for a long time.
Do you think people underestimate him? Doesn't look like a guy like that.
He's a quiet, nice guy, but yeah, he's a killer.
I don't know if you had to pick just one moment of the whole finals. Probably you have another one to pick tomorrow, much better, but until now, which one would be? It can be on the court or off the court too.
Of the final? I mean, it would be Tyrese Game 1 and Game 1. Yeah. That one in our, dominant win in Game 6.
And now I notice your tattoo. Can you explain me this tattoo, the 1% battery?
Yeah. So it's, for those who can't see it, it's a battery. It says 1%. Batteries, because they call me AA here in Indy, so AA battery. And then the 1% is just be 1% better today than you were yesterday. In 100 days, you'll be 100% better.
Thank you.
Can you show us again, tell us again what that's about?
So it's a battery. AA is what they call me in Indiana. So AA battery, and then the 1% is be 1% better today than yesterday, and in 100 days you'll be 100% better.
How is your battery? How do you feel?
It's 100%. Yeah, it's ready to go. Yeah.
You need another tattoo. You need to do another one.
Yeah, we need another
100%.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we win.
Aaron, one of the bigger storylines of the playoffs, finals, your team is the 2020 draft. It wasn't, there weren't so much hype around it beforehand, but now you guys proved that it's one of the better drafts in the last years. What would you say about it, and also who's the most underrated guy from that draft in your opinion?
Most underrated guy, Tyrese, obviously. And it was just, it was an interesting year because it was a COVID year. So we didn't, as a class, we didn't really get to, hang out and compete against each other in draft workouts. But yeah, man, we just proved that we were a good class. I don't know what else to say.
Anybody from the draft that you didn't play with, not on the basis that you kind of really like?
I'm a real, probably Andy Edwards. Yeah.
Aaron, how do you deal with the pressure of a Game 7? I know every finals game is big, but this is for a chance to lift the trophy. And I'm sure it's probably different for everybody handling pressure like this, right?
That's what we live for. It's just basketball at the end of the day. And just understanding the moment and realize you just can go out there and play 48 minutes, and 48 minutes will come and go like that, and you just got to give your all for that.
It's that simple. You're able to block out what this game means?
For now, yeah. I mean, I'll feel the jitters, before tip-off and once the arena fills up, but, I'm going to enjoy it.
How about that Game 7 against the Knicks last year on the road that you won? Can that factor in? Can that help you guys? Can you draw anything from something like that?
It's just experience. We've been here before. Like I said, just understanding the moment and understanding we're going to be the only ones in here rooting for us. And, we thrive in that environment. We like that.
Defensively speaking, what impressed you most about last game? You guys have been flustered, forced a lot of turnovers, and played to your favor.
And we just stuck to our game plan. And we did it for 40 minutes.
Being the first team having 8 guys with at least 200 points in the playoffs, how cool is that that if somebody has an off night, there's a bunch of guys who can take over? How good is that for the confidence?
Yeah, I think that's what makes it special. Just anybody on our team is capable of having a good night and making it their night, and we continue to play and let them, have their night, and that's what makes it so tough.
What did you guys really like when you went back through the film, and what are some things you could even do maybe even a little better?
I think we liked the connectivity of our group. I think we did a good job of extending the series and playing together and playing a full 48 minutes.
Anything you saw that maybe you can even improve on in Game 7?
Anything you saw we can improve upon in Game 7? I think there's always little adjustments on little mistakes we made in coverages. Just got to clean those little things up.
How much have you seen Rick and his staff elevate their game as much as you guys have throughout this whole playoff experience?
Yeah, I think they've been elite ever since I've gotten here. Their adjustments are huge, and we trust them a lot.
How much were you looking forward to maybe this challenge of being the primary defender on Shea and the spotlight? And did you let yourself think of what that might be like, and what's it been like?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a very, very tough challenge. He's a guy who's been one of my toughest guards in the league, and I'm really excited about those competitive matchups, And these are the times we get to show those types of things, and yeah, it's fun for me.
I was just asking TJ this. Typically when you talk about 1A guys on the championship teams, they're putting up giant numbers and all that. Pascal is leading in scoring, and he's had some big games in your run, but maybe just that ability to assert himself like he did in the first half versus other games he's allowed other guys to step up. What's that say about that?
No, I think it says that he's all about winning. I mean, he will put his personal agenda aside at any time to win the game, and I think that's what he's shown ever since he's gotten here, and he's done a great job of
shining as well as letting all of us shine together. I think that's when we're at our best. You know.
Nembhard, we see you shooting like 7, 8 balls a game, but how many of those you take practicing that we don't see, like 3-pointers?
How many times am I practicing my shot?
Yeah, how many shots to practice? How many 3-pointers do you practice for practice?
I mean, every day I think I'm trying to get in the gym and practice. It's coming to fruition now.
Do you have a favorite Game 7 memory? Maybe yours
Yeah, I'd say ours. I mean, us against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. That was an incredible atmosphere and a moment that I love playing in.
How normal do you feel right now going into a game 7 of the finals? Does it feel normal at all? Have you been able to keep away any unwanted emotions?
No, it feels good. It feels as normal as normal could be. I mean, I'm excited about this opportunity. I know it's going to be a big environment and it's going to be a lot of emotions, but I think we're all just ready to hoop and just enjoy the hoops.
Since you mentioned last year's Game 7, how much does that experience help going into this? I mean, how important is it, even if it's not in the finals, how much important is it to experience the Game 7, just to know what that means?
No, definitely with some rising emotions and just feelings towards a Game 7 like last year, and I think it does. Experience always helps, you know, in these situations. For sure.
Has this been the loudest road venue you've been at during the playoffs?
Yeah, it's up there. Cleveland is pretty good. Shit, a lot of these teams are really good. I think Indy's the best.
Can you look at what's been the difference or difficulty in creating turnovers at home versus on the road?
Say it again?
The difference in creating turnovers at home versus on the road.
For them or?
For you, what's been the difficult part of that?
I think in those games they allowed us to get sped up. You know, little things, just not getting, maybe playing a little emotional with the crowd. We just gotta be, you know, even keel throughout the whole game.
What do you think made you guys just good at doing it in Game 6 in creating turnovers?
In creating turnovers?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think our plan is to like create turnovers. We just gotta be solid and kind of flew around and end up falling into those, you know, a little bit.
What about dealing with the pressure? I know every game there's big time pressure. Can you put it out of your mind what you're actually going to be playing for tomorrow and just play 48 minutes?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think a lot of us feel as much pressure as you think we feel.
Andrew, The Athletic did an anonymous players poll, and we asked players what teams they thought would make it to the finals, and you guys weren't in the top 8, let alone to win. What did everyone get wrong about this team?
I think they don't feel the togetherness and connectivity and the continuity we've had over the last 2-3 years. I think that plays a big role in us having success. You know, our coaching staff does a great job of putting us in the right positions, and we play hard. We play together, and I think teams around the league, the players actually that play against us, they know how tough it is to beat us.
What can you draw from that Knicks 7-game series last year? You were able to win on the road.
Yeah, a lot of highs and lows. A lot of times where it seemed like we were out of it. They went up to almost 3-0, and we came back. Just the way we stayed together and played hard and didn't really look up at the clock. Just played together and let the 48 minutes speak for itself.
Shea was asked about an hour ago. Is there anything you've learned about you having to go against you? You said not really knew all this about you. Is there anything you've learned about him at all in this series, or is this pretty much what you expected?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Obi, describe this wild ride of this team in the playoffs that took you all the way to Game 7 and the feelings that go with it.
We feel good, but we got one more game left, last game of the season, and we just got to go in here and get the job done.
That Game 7, you mentioned it, you feel lucky to live it. Not many players get this opportunity, but also how do you manage the anxiety that might go with it?
I don't think it's anxiety. It's excitement more anxiety. We can't wait to get to this game tomorrow. Grew up our whole lives wanting to play in a Game 7 in NBA Finals, so it's gonna be fun tomorrow.
Obi, always very exciting, of course. 2 most exciting words in basketball, Game 7.
Yeah.
Even when you have a championship on the line.
Wait, say that again. What was the question?
Okay. So, greatest words in basketball,
Yeah, it's
right?
Game 7. Yeah.
Okay, even when you have a championship on the line.
I don't know. Like we just gotta go out here tomorrow, get the job done. We worked really hard to allow us to be in this position, so just gotta go out there and get the job done tomorrow.
What will it take tomorrow to get this last win?
Yeah.
And how do you expect this matchup in the last game to be? How is it going to be? Is it going to be not pretty game?
Right. It's gonna be two great teams playing really hard to get a win. Like I said, it's been a while since both teams got a championship, so for us to play against each other in the Game 7, it's gonna be good basketball.
How helpful was it to already have like an elimination game for you guys? You know, now that you're both here, it's win all, take all, but you guys already have an elimination game win under your belt.
Yeah, last game, we didn't want them celebrating on our court, so we understood the assignment. We understood we had to come in here, be dogs, and get that job done. And now it's on to Game 7. We got to do the same thing we did in Game 6 and get the job done.
And they now have that mentality. They don't want you guys celebrating in this building. Are you expecting them to bring even more than they typically would?
For sure. They're in their building. They definitely gonna have the crowd's energy. But we wanna celebrate on their floor. We wanna be the guys that celebrate on their floor. So we gotta go in there with the same mentality we had in Game 6 and get the job done.
Do you have a favorite Game 7 memory?
Do I have a favorite? 2016, that was Kyrie's step back, right? On the wing, yeah, that was probably the coldest one for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. You'd say silencing New York fans.
Knicks last year was pretty good. Yeah.
Oh wait, I thought you was talking about the finals. Is it any Game 7?
Yeah, any Game 7.
Yeah, probably New York last year then. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Obi, you're sitting here 3 games apiece. The point differential total is just 7. It's been ultra competitive. What kind of respect do you have for them and this series, knowing that so many people are watching and this is going to go down as one of the best series ever?
Yeah, I mean, they're a great team. We're a great team. It's 2 young teams. Like I feel like we're kind of showing the world it's like different basketball now. It's about hey TJ. It's about 2 teams just going out there playing extremely hard and everybody, including the guys on the bench, coming in here and making an impact. So yeah,
it'll be well earned whoever takes this championship, won't it?
For sure.
Obi, what happened with you?
Pride does the bench unit, you mentioned it, that's given this team such a lift this year's whole playoffs too.
Yeah,
How much pride do you take in that?
A lot of pride. We can't wait to get in the game and bring the energy that we do and impact the game in a great way. Like having great guys like TJ and Ben Shep and Mathurin, everybody coming off the bench, like we come in the game and know the type of impact we can make, and so we just go out there and play good basketball.
Andrew is a really
He is 6 foot.
Andrew's a really quiet guy, nice guy, but how is he built? You know him behind the scenes.
Yeah. He's quiet to the world, but he be talking his. Let me stop. He's a great guy. He's definitely like a silent assassin, though. You don't hear him until you get out there on the court. When he's out there on the court, everybody knows what he's doing out there. So he's huge for this team, and got one more game. Got to get the job done.
When did you realize he was a guy that you could go to war with? He was a guy. Andrew, when did you realize he was one of them guys you can go to war with?
Yeah, for sure. He's always gonna guard the best player. He's always gonna take the charges, do little things that's just gonna help this team win. Like he doesn't have to go out there and score 30 to help the team. Like he always does the little things that helps us get through, and so we appreciate him a lot.
Reflecting on your journey, you're 1 win away from a championship. You must have done so many things right. What do you congratulate the most about? What are you the proudest of? And what's your advice to kids and people who dream one day to be here?
Most proud of just being here, obviously in the finals and doing it with this team. Advice, just work extremely hard at whatever you love. And keep doing it until you get to what your goal is. But yeah, we just super proud to be in this environment and definitely hopefully get that win.
Oh, you are shooting the three really good this series. What did you do in the off season to be a really good shooter in these finals?
I don't know. I just feel like put up a lot of shots. I don't feel like I changed anything. It's just put up a lot of shots, shoot with confidence, and earn the trust of players, coaches, so I can go out there and just do what I do.
Repetition.
Yeah, repetition. That's it.
You only can pick one moment of the whole finals. Just one. Which one?
It hasn't happened yet.
That's
hasn't happened yet. So.
But until now.
I ain't gonna change that answer. It's whatever's gonna happen in Game 7. It's gonna be great.
The last 2 months,
Yeah.
your squad has provided a ton of dramatic moments, but I wonder, beyond your team, how much of the playoffs did you watch along the way? And is there a moment or a series outcome or a game that had you just be holy shit, this was...
Like, that I played in?
No.
In general?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, being a part of it and playing in it has opened my eyes about the playoffs and finals and stuff. Like, you learn more being in the fire. So I've learned a lot, especially in these playoffs, what it takes to be great and move on. So we just gonna continue this trend and hopefully get this win tomorrow.
Favorite pre-game meal? How do you envision tomorrow? Best way to take care of your body too?
Favorite pre-game meal? I don't know. I have a great chef. Shout out Chef Josh. He just cooks amazing meals every game day. So I don't have a favorite. We really change it up a lot. Usually some pasta, something gets me going. Good carbs. But yeah.
Last question.
Hey, at the end of the anthem, you always go and rock the rim. Is that a superstition? And when did you start doing that? Does it get you hyped up or what?
I had this question before. I don't know when I started doing that, but it's been a while now since I was doing it. And yeah, every time the national anthem about to end, I just jump up there just to get the legs warm and going.
I jump up and try to hit the bottom of the net.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great feeling. Everyone feels so blessed to be in this position, and I feel like any young kid who grows up playing basketball dreams of moments like this. So just living in the moment, having fun, and just enjoying everything. So.
And it's a rare opportunity to play a Game 7. Not many players get it. How is it even more special for you?
Super special. Like you said, not a lot of players get the opportunity to play in something like this. So yeah, just having fun and being in the moment, being where my feet are.
What do you expect about Game 7? Tyrese said it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. We're in Oklahoma, we have great fans. It's going to be swings in the game, so just playing our game and being ourselves.
Your advice to any kid who's dreaming to be one day in this seat, what do they need to do? How did you make it all possible?
Just keep working, be a good person, stick to what you know, and yeah, just keep working and believe in yourself.
How tough is to manage all the emotions that you had after Thursday? To start to be focused on Game 7, but try to release all the emotions that you had.
Yeah, it was good that we won, but ultimately that game doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So we got one more, and we're not too worried about last game or what else happened in the series. So we're just focused on this one game.
Did you do anything different or special during these 2 days, or just routine, the same routine that others?
Same routine.
You've played in Game 7s before. You've played in 6 finals games now, but this is the combination of the two. It's the biggest stage possible.
Yeah.
Does it feel any different to you? How are you trying to keep yourself even keeled ahead of that moment?
I feel like I don't let moments get too big or too small, so just being where my feet are and approaching every game the same way that I do, and yeah.
Where'd that mentality come from? Have you always had it, or is that something you've had to learn over the years?
I mean, it's just so enjoyable playing in the NBA playoffs, so it's hard to like worry about anything or feel anxious about anything. I mean, all these guys have worked their whole lives to be in a position like this, so yeah, just enjoying it and taking it as it comes.
How much have you enjoyed the chess match, especially defensively? Have you guys both making moves and it's been successful?
It's been really fun. As a competitor, watching a game go 7 games is really cool to be a part of, and yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow.
How are you expecting the Thunder to respond based on what you've seen from them this season?
Yeah, I mean, they're a great team. Number 1 in the West. We're going to expect punches from them tomorrow, and just them playing hard and competing. It's Game 7, so yeah, see how it goes.
And I apologize if you've already answered this already, but how do you tune out an arena like this? How do you lock in and focus when it's as loud as it gets in here?
I'd say just all the players got to be extra vocal on the court, looking to our coaches and our staff, and just keeping everything internal. It's a loud arena. Crowds are super into it, and it is loud, so just focusing on what you can do and how you can affect the game in a positive way.
Benny, if you had to pick just one moment of the whole finals, just one moment, the highlight of the final for you, or probably you have another one better tomorrow, but until now, which one?
Personally, like,
you can choose inside the court or off the court, or the diamonds that you will remember forever.
I'd probably say Tyrese Haliburton's game winner for Game 1. That was pretty cool. First game in the finals, setting the tone, and yeah, it's been really cool to watch what we've been able to accomplish, and just us and the Thunder going back and forth.
How impressive has Coach Carlisle's performance been throughout the playoffs with just his game plans, his adjustments, everything he's done with this team?
Yeah, it's been great. His veteran leadership, I think, pops in series like this. It's what he's done and what he's accomplished in the NBA playoffs as a coach has been great, and I feel like all his leadership and everything that he passes on to us trickles down to us, and just gives us confidence because he's been in these situations, and as a young player, I'm just trying to soak it all in.
And how comfortable, or how much does it help with comfort in a Game 7 big moment like this, knowing you have a veteran coach?
Yeah, he's got a super stoic personality to him, so looking at him just in heats of battle and ups and downs, just seeing how stone-faced he is, definitely trickles down to all of us.
Did you like that he came out to many men last game, though?
We always come out to that. I think they just had the camera on him, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I saw that online. So.
How about Jenny in particular, too, giving the defensive changes? Has her voice maybe been a little bit louder recently?
Yeah, her leadership has been awesome, and especially going up a team that's so offensively dynamic as they are, she has to be especially vocal, and she's done a great job of leading us. So yeah, super blessed to have a staff that we do.
During this run, how much do you take a moment to look, I may never be back here, that type of thing, and enjoy it versus, hey, narrow-minded, I got to focus on whatever's tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, it's Game 7. It's hard to not feel any anxiety or anything like that. So yeah, just having fun and enjoying it. A lot of people don't have the opportunity to play in games like this, so yeah, just taking every moment as it comes. And I feel like after the season, I'll be able to reflect on the season and how everything went. But just right now, I'm just focused.
What about Pascal Siakam? I mean, he always flies under the radar, never gets enough attention, it feels like. How much has his steady hand been beneficial in this finals run?
It's been great. Just his vocal leadership and what he's been able to accomplish on the court trickles down to us, and he's been in situations like this as well. He's an NBA champion in Toronto. So yeah, just looking at him during the ups and downs and just seeing everything he's given to us is pretty cool.
You feel like this moment kind of started at his place down in Orlando, where it's an optional thing and everybody shows up, and it sets the tone for where you are here today?
Definitely. I think that minicamp that we had in Orlando was a great start to the season, and just setting all the whatever you call it, like successes for the season down there. I feel like we had a little more bigger moments in Paris and stuff like that, just team camaraderie, just getting together as a team and just focusing on what we have at stake and our goals for the season. So yeah, it was a big part.
Was there a moment in Paris, or are you just saying the whole experience?
I'm just saying the whole experience.
Okay.
We've had a lot of team experiences this year that have helped us, and yeah, it's been pretty cool to see the success of our team.
Good time for one more. All right, thanks, man. Thank you.